emotional and physical strength to take care of her. We're going to have some radical surgeries for Ashley that removes any of her biological equipment that would cause her to mature into a woman. We're going to remove her growth hormone so that she will not grow, and she will be this little pillow angel for the rest of her life. It's important to say that her parents did this out of love and out of concern, and I guess from some of the things I've heard this morning, it might be that the parents of children with disabilities are also pressed because they're not going to be able to take care of them forever, and there's really no good place for them to go to get good care. So the Ashley treatment is still being conducted on some people with disabilities. I really like the story of the world's biggest pumpkin. One of my friends from high school actually grew the world's biggest pumpkin a little while ago. But this is a quote from the person that grew the world's biggest pumpkin last year. He said, "We're taking a natural process and we've got complete control over it." I think that's a really wonderful example of how the word natural has been defined and redefined until it's no longer natural. What you actually do to grow the world's biggest pumpkin is you kill all the little pumpkins so that this one big giant pumpkin grows in your field. And in order to do that, you have to have complete control over nature. You also know that in factory farms, animals are born and die in an environment that oppressively shapes them. So if you look at this in terms of environmental justice and toxic environments, it really applies also to people with disability and animals. Hello says that toxicity migrates through time. Once you're in a toxic environment, you have less and less and less opportunity to get out of it or to change it. Restraint and seclusion is still used in public schools, especially in alternative schools, some places where Anthony works, and some of the kids that you work with who are diagnosed and labeled with emotional disabilities, still being restrained. There's still seclusion rooms in public schools, which are very small. Sometimes they're padded, sometimes they're not padded. Children are still being secluded in these tiny little rooms and sometimes forgotten, and sometimes a lot of children are still dying from being restrained. You know, a lot of children are forgotten in seclusion, and some of them have actually died in seclusion. Again, you already know that in the factory farming and slaughterhouses, non-human animals are secluded and restrained in very toxic and deadly environments. And so the human and non-human animal interaction through these toxic environments is minimalized, specialized, and it has its own special language. Restraint is part of our language in special education. Seclusion is part of our language in special education. Meat is part of a specialized language. Hello also looks at tools for organizing resistance, and Foucault looks at tools for organizing resistance. Foucault's technologies of the self are related to his archaeology and his genealogy. So he's saying if you examine your own thoughts and your own feelings and your own ideas and the ideas that come to mind to you just because they're so deeply embedded that they're even beyond language and that you just automatically think them, you can examine and transform yourself. Hello says that intersectionality and looking at environmental justice related to racism brings people together across spatial and social boundaries. And eco-ability, once again, calls for activists and scholars to work together. And I don't personally know of another discipline where activists and scholars make a very strong point to make their language accessible, to make their ideas accessible, to be in a place where we may not agree 100% with each other, and that's a very positive thing. I think that's something special about eco-ability that I feel is very important. I'm very grateful to be a part of it. So I'm asking you to join the eco-ability movement, join the eco-ability field of studies. Someone asked me the other day if I had any eco-ability grad students that could do book reviews, and right now this is eco-ability. When we get through with this conference, eco-ability will be broader, and we will have eco-ability grad students at some point. But it's very exciting to be at this equal ability and the power of intersectionality to really change paradigms in your lifetime and change